it's transferring.
Not recorded for posterity, is it?
Yeah, that's it. Oh, look at this.
Go on then, you go first.
Oh, you've stripped it down.
Yeah. I'm
Oh, it's
looking
looking,
on the back.
it's looking a bit sad.
No, it doesn't. It's looking very happy.
Oh, this is your new plate.
Yep.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Heavy. We've got to take more metal off it yet. And that's my spare diff, because the other one's away being serviced. It's a quaif and it's in trouble. It's worn.
Pretty solid, this, isn't it?
I know. Well, because you see, what's been happening
Yeah.
is those two mountings there, that's there and there.
Yeah.
They're the diff mountings.
Ah.
And on the other one, the tube, I was bending the tube and crushing the tube. Because you see, not only is the power comes in through there, but
Yeah.
that is the back brake disc which fastens here. And so
Right.
all the braking loads go into here.
Ah,
Because you see, all the braking loads are held nowhere else, you know. That's where the braking loads go.
right, I'm with you.
If you have a single brake at the back,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my word, look at all these wires.
One single breaker there.
single brake at the back.
Oh, right. Oh, I didn't realise that.
Hey, stop bloody... Well, that's all the wiring for the
Yeah.
logger.
Where's the LCD? That's right. There we
So
go.
generally, how's it been going?
Well, not too bad this year.
Good.
But we did have trouble. I've had to reinforce the diff mounting twice. I had to reinforce it twice the year before. Eventually I got fed up, so I thought I looked at the Force, the modern Force cars,
Yeah,
which you probably
yes.
just about remember.
Yeah, I
Because they were just about around when you were still driving. I think.
Oh, yeah. I know.
And they all have bloody big bulkheads here. So I
Right.
thought, solid. Eve is unhappy because it's going to add weight.
Ah,
Quite.
well.
But the rubber bands aren't here at the moment. They fasten onto here and go down into the nose. Ah, there they look. Those are the rubber bands. Do you see?
Yeah, yeah.
But in order to get it on the structure, this is what I call this thing.
Yeah.
This is the structure. It's good. This. I don't know what this tube is originally for, but somebody did it for me. You know, he had some spare left over. But these two ribs, there and there, are probably within about 25 thou for dimensions, all the full length, maybe less than that of the car.
Really?
So I can use it instead. Otherwise, you've got to have something nasty like a granite table,
Right.
which costs several £1,000s. So I use this as I've used it for years now. Otherwise, how the hell do you get the position right? I take it off there. This is the measuring plate here. You see, this plate slides on it. It's got either side, so it'll hardly move that way.
Yeah,
still.
yeah.
And this bit here in the middle is exactly 2 inches. So as long as I remember to subtract an inch when I
Right.
measure from there,
Right,
to a centre line. Otherwise, how do you otherwise you're guessing, because you need some. I mean, in the olden days, people used to use sheets of not plywood, but something similar.
Yeah.
But I prefer this because this is much more accurate. So I mean, I mark it all out off this table with squares, T-squares, verniers, you name it.
Yeah. So the motor's going well then.
Yeah, it is actually. It's an interesting motor.
Which is this one then?
Yeah, this is the K8, the GSX-R1000.
Yeah.
The 08 engine.
Right.
That, you see, is one of the that's one of my WPs,
Right.
which is 93 or 4. And that is the methanol.
I was going to ask which.
Yeah.
That's the methanol.
That's the methanol.
That's the methanol.
Right.
That's methanol with W8, WP. That's petrol, and that one's petrol. But one of those two have got a gearbox gone.
Right.
It's
You don't know which one?
yeah, it's labelled. I can't remember. It's the one that's called spare and not petrol. Petrol. Therefore, it's that one. This is a 750, which Ian Scott gave me.
Oh,
Stop
right.
that. Ian Scott gave me. It's a 750, and in here, after 4 years I've had those. That is a blower off the modern Cooper S.
Oh, yeah.
Not the most
yeah.
modern ones which are turbo.
Yeah.
That's the supercharger.
right.
And the theory is, when I get round to it, and the question is, how the bloody hell do you drive the thing? and you drive. And I think I know how I'm going to drive it. It's going to be hard work. I've been helicoiling here.
What, belt or what?
What?
With the supercharger?
With a belt.
With a
Well,
belt or...
what I'm going to try and do, it's easy to describe it off this engine because the 750, although it's the interim model between the water-cooled and the modern ones,
Yeah.
it's much more similar to the modern ones. For instance, the cam chain comes on the water-cooled, the cam chain comes up here. On these, cam chain comes here. On the 750,
Oh, right. Yes.
the cam chain comes up here. And these here, that's the crank. Goes into the crank.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the starter and God knows what else. What I'm going to try and do is put an extension on this end of the crank and
Yes.
sit the blower here and put a belt there. But it's going to be hard work. What
Yeah.
I've got to do is I've got to get this bit, not this one, the one off the other engine, welded with a snout welded onto it.
Right.
And then I'll do what I always have done, not always, but from the very early days when I discovered I needed to. And that is, if you have a belt drive, you put an outrigger, which is only on the shafts, but it stops the shafts going oh when you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it holds them in position, so
Right.
you won't break that, and you know.
So when you say an outrigger, you mean something with a bearing at either end?
Yeah, that's all
To,
it is.
just to splice hold the
Yeah, I
shaft.
think.
You don't want to put any vibration into your crankshaft, though, do you?
Well, hard luck if it does.
So what sort of
This
belt?
is an outrigger I had when I attempted to put a Rotrex blower on one of my WPs. That's what I mean by an outrigger.
Yeah.
Ah, right.
The one I used to was adjustable. This wasn't. I did it differently. But what I mean is that the bearing there, and that just floats.
Yeah.
So
Are you with me?
Yeah.
what sort of belt do you use? A tooth belt or?
What? Oh,
tooth
cog.
belt? Yeah.
You got these things. Here.
Probably. No,
Yeah.
not that. Well, oh yeah, sorry. Am I going to use poly? No, I use poly V now. I use all sorts of belts. I mean,
Right.
over the years, I've used the standard cog belt, which I might have one here. No, I haven't. No, standard cog belt. That's HTV, or what do they call it? And that's poly V.
Right.
I've got other belts. That's a cog belt pulley. I don't throw them away. Because I ran blown for 15 years. From what, about 85 to, or
right,
maybe
yeah.
10 years, 84. Yeah, see that's poly V, that's standard cog belt. I don't know if I haven't got any pulleys here for the HTV ones.
I only ran a blower once on the sprint bike,
Yeah.
but I ran it with a V belt on that.
I've never used a V belt. It doesn't take the power.
Well, I mean, it was only 350 engine.
Yeah,
It was
it would
350
have-
engine, so I mean, it
Yeah.
managed all right.
But anyhow, that's a job. If I get this job done before the season starts, I will then set to and work on the other engine. Cheap and nasty, but very effective. 180 quid. Vertical horizontal bandsaw. Absolutely glorious. I wore one out. It was about 20 years old, and finally all the bearings went. So you either use it like that,
Yeah.
or they give you a plate to put across, but I never
Yeah.
bothered. Or you use it as a bandsaw.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very useful.
I've been doing a lot of hacksawing recently, cutting plates for a bike.
Well, I'll tell you what
So-
I've discovered as being useful, really useful, is this damn thing.
What's that?
Cutting disc.
Yeah.
Cutting the back off the car. I went through 10 of these. They wear very fast. I had a big pile. Isn't
So
it?
what's this one now?
Seven.
Or eight?
Seven.
No, this
It
is
says
7.
7, is it? Right.
And it's going to be the last one. I no longer have the energy, and I mean that quite seriously at my age, to build another one. This down here crippled me 2 years ago.
Nice little turbo. Thank you very much,
Turn
Barry.
your camera off now, you darty.
To make you feel my love, to make you feel my